We'll do it live. We'll do it live. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Tuesday. It's the second week of the MWOD. Thank you guys for your support and comments. We're going to try to address those pieces a little bit at a time. We're going to layer on another piece of kind of the puzzle. Want to challenge your thinking a little bit. One of the things that we want you guys to think of, and people, I think, athletes and coaches struggle with when they kind of have a mobility chunk, is how do you program mobility? You know, it should look like your kind of your third WOD, which is maybe eating, kind of to be the complete athlete. But how do you start to think about kind of targeted mobility? Certainly, the way we're doing it is we're starting to develop problem lists. People are starting to kind of get a game plan for the kind of the global pieces that are tight. Well, we're going to start to think about how to tweak this. Today on the main site on CrossFit.com, we had a lot of Satz press and Turkish get-up, which requires a lot of external rotation and good shoulder position. The comments are that people are feeling pretty smoked. So what we're going to do today on a rest day for tomorrow is to go ahead and program in thinking about trying to recover my shoulders, recover my positioning. Remember that good posture and good organization allows for you to have kind of best production of force, best stability. So if you're really tight and kind of blown out from a day before, when the next shoulder piece comes around tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, chances are you're not going to be ready for it, and we want to make sure you're ready for it. So what we're going to do today is talk about a couple concepts, and I've got my friend John Wellborn here who's going to do some filming for a second. You should have had a week. You should have a jump stretch band. This is an old stretch out strap. These things are expensive. They're like 30 or 40 or 50 bucks. Any strap will work, a cam strap, a ring row strap, one of the straps from your rings. We're going to get some unique properties from this jump stretch band that allows us to relax a little bit as we start to distract the joint. The lacrosse ball is also a vital piece, and you got to have these three things because we're going to start programming with them. So go to Rogue, go to Iron Woody, get yourself a jump stretch band, stop making excuses, don't be that guy. So let's say that you don't have a pull-up rack, or you do have a pull-up rack. We're going to throw this over. I am going to just loop it in half and then hook my hand through it. One of the pieces, and this comes out of the osteopathic tradition of joint distraction, especially when I need to kind of unload. When we loaded the hip the other day and we tried to stick it out through the capsule of the hip, that's a lot of approximation of the joint, where I really load the joint and then try to do something with it, and kind of in a closed position. This is a joint distraction position, and this allows me to attain some very vulnerable positions. So what I'm going to do is just hook and then back up, and then I'm going to go ahead and wind my thumb up, and that external rotation mimics that overhead good positioning and that firing of all of those external rotators we talked about to pull my arm into a good position, and it pulls my armpit forward, and now I'm in an active shoulder position. That's what I'm going to get with this thumb up. The retest today, rib cage in and down, belly tight. This should be your hollowed positioning, and pull your shoulders back as far as you can. Have someone check you out from the side. Don't fly the rib cage. Don't tilt the rib cage. Lean back. Rib cage is stripping down. Belly is tight. Pull back as far as you can. Wind yourself up. Full distraction. Go over the top. Wind that thing up. Turn the thumb up. And you're going to see that you're going to be able to do what we call informed freestyling, which is starting to find your business that's tight. And there may not be this formal piece, like this may be for John Wellborn, or for Kelly Starrett, it may be over here. I'm going to get some distraction through the joint. I don't have to be active. I can let my socket feel like it's being pulled. I turn the thumb up as the tensioner. Load, thumb up, tensioner, start to sink in there, and then just give it a chance. Go hunting. You'll notice that I've kicked my body around. It's winding up this whole lat on the side. We're trying to mobilize this position. This would be a pretty sick overhead squat position if you could get into it. Wind that thing up, hang out. Let's try to get some kind of 2-3 minutes of passive time. Today's total time is going to be 10 minutes of messing around with your shoulders. Don't be pedantic, don't be kind of dogmatic about getting a clock on here. I just want you to fart around for 10 minutes with your shoulders. We're going to try to recover our shoulders today. So first one, so recover this overhead position. I'm just going to hang out. And look, I'm really just going to kind of open up the belly. If you get the CrossFit journal, you've seen this before. I've just done that for a minute and a half or so, and then we're going to retest and see if there's any difference in my overhead position. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but it feels like this arm is a little bit further back. which arm is tighter and more organized? Yeah, this one. So what's happened is I've just biased any of the tissues that need it. That's homework number 1. Homework number 2 is that you need to take a ball, and we're going to stick it in these external rotators of your rotator cuff. Remember, all your rotator cuff is housed on the scapula. Teres minor, infraspinatus, the big WODs here. That's why it's important you know a little anatomy and know what it does, so that when we're thinking about biasing movement, we can bias those tissues in the movement. What I'm going to start with is in this position about 90 degrees. I'm going to roll that lacrosse ball on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and just roll around on some of those tissues in the back. Don't vomit on yourself. That's okay. That's not okay. And pooing yourself on the carpet is also not okay. You're going to find some ugliness. You can do the sleeper stretch, which is bring the shoulder over. A little mobilization with movement, a concept we'll cover in the future, is good too. I can even lay on my back and start to kind of hit some of those extra rotators in this position and let my arm come around. So we're not going to worry about a test-retest in this so much, other than I want you to do some informed freestyling on your shoulder in the back here. When external rotators are tight, usually feels like something's tight all the way in kind of the head here, and that's where those external rotators kind of insert here. Their movement is to here. If they're tight and short, I don't have good power overhead to externally rotate. And what we're trying to do is restore that motion to be back overhead after having to do so much of that stabilization to clear out the shoulder. Got it? All right, we'll see you the next day.